Alright, what's happening, y'all? It's your boy Rico from Street Scores, and I'm coming with 21 interesting facts about the Washington 2021 draft class. Want to test your knowledge? I guarantee nobody knows all 21 off rip. I honestly only knew about like 8 before I really started diving in and doing research to just find random facts. And they're not just super random like what somebody ate on May 12th, 2016. They're all like really interesting facts. So I didn't cheat as a tester and just pick up what shoes the St. Juice wear January 8th, 2005. Time to have some fun. Let's get it. All right, fact number 1. The Washington football team 2021 draft class had 8 elite RAS athletes. This is tied for the 4th most of all time out of 1,076 draft classes. Only the 99 Bears with 9, the 04 Titans with 9, and the 18 Packers with 10 had more. So we just drafted the 4th most athletic draft class of all time. I knew it was something to it. By the time we got to Derek Forrest, I was like, oh yeah, we're just drafting straight athletes. I mean, of course, there were other factors like character and experience and versatility. But like it was obvious that we were just going straight freak athletes. Also, with an average RAS of 8.45, the Washington football team's 2021 draft class had the 69th most athletic draft class since 1987 out of 881. And John Bates and Dax Milne weighed it down. So like at the same time we had the 4th most elite athletes in the draft class, we only have the 69th most athletic draft class on average because John Bates and Dax Milne are weighing it down. Mainly Dax Milne. Everybody else have great or elite RAS scores. John Bates is yellow with good, and Dax Milne is straight red. So 4th most athletic draft class of all time as far as the amount of elite athletes, but just on average, our draft class was only 69th in NFL history, which is still crazy, but you know, John Bates and Dax Milne did us dirty. Number 3. Speaking of athleticism, just isolating speed alone, Samuel Cosmi was the fastest offensive lineman drafted. Jamin Davis was the 2nd fastest linebacker drafted. Derek Forrest was tied 3rd for the fastest safety drafted. And Shaka Toney was the 2nd fastest defensive end drafted out of this entire draft class, every team. So they just went straight speed. Now, I think Shaka Toney's honestly going to move to Sam linebacker, but even then, he's still a ridiculously freakish athlete. His RAS score is actually higher for outside linebacker than it is defensive end, mostly just because of his size though. But still, like, we drafted top 3 speed in their respective positions 4 times in this draft. I'm pretty sure we're the only draft class that can say that. Fact number 4, the Rams finished the draft with 9 picks, and only Carolina, Cincinnati, Dallas, Denver, Minnesota, the Jets, and us, Washington, had more picks. So we were one of 7 teams that had 10 picks or more. And that's just random and interesting. Another interesting fact, this past draft, we took 5 players from this year's Senior Bowl. Benjamin St. Juice, Shaka Toney, Cameron Cheeseman, John Bates, and William Bradley King. And we've been talking about how we really love Senior Bowl guys, even most notably Terry McLaurin and Montez Sweat. We love to take guys from the Senior Bowl. First of all, experience. The fact that they're a senior shows that they've played a lot of college ball usually. And there's a lot of different reasons, but also seeing guys in the Senior Bowl go against even level talent for the most part is also a big indication of how good a player may or may not be. Because a lot of guys come from smaller schools and you worry about, well, once they go against guys from the SEC, the Big 10, the Big 12 and things like that, how are they going to look? And so once they finally get with the other seniors around the country and they still look dominant, now you're more sure about possibly taking that player in the draft. So it makes sense. Fact number 6, 2nd round draft pick offensive tackle Samuel Cosmi is from Humble, Texas. And you already know with Ron Rivera and Martin Mayhew how much they care about character. So how can you go wrong with drafting somebody from Humble, Texas? And at the end of the day, it may be a fallacy, but are they wrong? Are they wrong? Samuel Cosmi has high character. He's from Humble, Texas. It seems like if you put 2 and 2 together, they correlate directly. Speaking of Samuel Cosmi, next fact is Samuel Cosmi, and I emphasize the fact that he's 6'6", 310 pounds, an offensive tackle. He took a screen 12 yards for a touchdown because You'll hear about Samuel Cosme has a touchdown reception, but a lot of people don't realize if they actually go and look at the play, he caught that pass behind the line of scrimmage and ran it actually a little bit more than 12 yards because he caught it behind the scrimmage, but it was a 12-yard touchdown on a screen. 6'6", 310-pound offensive tackle. Like, come on, bro. Like, what is that? Also, this 2021 draft is the first time we've selected 19th overall in the draft since 1952. The player we took back then was George Washington's Andy Davis, who only played 8 games. So as long as Jamin Davis plays 9 games, he's already better than every 19th overall draft pick we've ever taken. But I'm pretty sure Jamin Davis is going to be a potential Pro Bowler, maybe even All-Pro potential. I'm excited about his potential. But I mean, as far as expectations goes, to beat out another 19th overall pick from this organization, he just has to play in 9 games. Also, undrafted free agent running back Jared Patterson ran for 409 yards and 8 touchdowns versus Kent State. One game, just one game. I'm not sure if a lot of people remember that game or knew about it in general, but the guy we got as an undrafted free agent ran for 409 yards and 8 touchdowns in one game. And another fact regarding undrafted free agent running back Jared Patterson, him and Chase Young went to the same high school in Maryland for 2 years. So I'm pretty sure Chase Young is happy to have one of his old friends back. Also, an interesting fact, and this is more so like a theory, but it's really interesting that Rivera and company went heavy on experience with all of their draft picks just because of the fact that there were a lot of opt-outs. There was less tape to watch due to the pandemic-affected season last year. So they drafted a lot of guys who had the most tape available. Like Samuel Cosme was a 3-year starter. A lot of these guys, basically everybody but Jamin Davis, had a lot of film to look at. So that's interesting that they went with that strategy. Again, more so of a theory than a fact, but the math adds up. Also, really random too, this has nothing to deal with us specifically, even though we did take an undrafted free agent in Jared Patterson, and I'm excited about him. Not necessarily saying he's going to be a Hall of Famer, but there are more undrafted free agents in the Hall of Fame set to be 21 than number 1 overall picks 15, number 2 overall picks 11, number 3 overall picks 10, and number 4 overall picks 13. And it's kind of not fair because we're not even talking about first round, second round, third round, fourth round. We're talking about specifically number 1 overall picks, specifically number 2. Undrafted free agents beat those guys in total, but that's still really interesting to know that you can get Hall of Famers as undrafted free agents. A very random fact, and this is a really random connection regarding safety Derek Forrest. His position coach at Cincinnati previously coached at the University of South Alabama, where he coached Jeremy Reeves, who's a safety already on this team. So that's really interesting. I don't know if they're going off of Buddy's recommendations, but I guess if they liked what they saw from Jeremy Reeves, they would potentially like another player that was under his tutelage. And then we have like a flurry of Jamin Davis facts. First of all, he led all draft eligible players in total tackles last season with 109. Oh man, he's about to eat up behind this defensive line. He's only gonna get better, bro. It's about to be crazy. Also, one interesting fact about Jamin Davis is that Nick Saban loves him. He's one of those players that he regrets not seeing the hidden gem, the hidden diamond in the rough. And Nick Saban is an in-conference head coach, so the fact that they played against him, they saw what he could do, makes me even more excited about Jamin Davis because Nick Saban knows his football. Also, former Washington defensive coordinator Greg Minuski worked with Jamin Davis this year as a quality control coach at Kentucky. So that's really interesting. They probably called up Greg Minuski to get some opinions on Jamin Davis, and I'm assuming that Greg Minuski gave a really good recommendation. That's a really random connection. Next fact, Jamin Davis, out of 592 snaps, played 463 of them in the box, basically as a linebacker, but also played 119 of them in the slot. A lot of people may not know that. And he only allowed a 65.5 passer rating when targeted last season. I'm so excited about his potential, man. And another Jamin Davis fact, just pointed out that we took a defensive player in the first round each of the last 5 years. Jamin Davis this year, Chase Young the previous year. We traded back up into the first round to get Montez Sweat in 2019, Daron Payne in 2018, and Jonathan Allen in 2017. There's a reason this defense is so talented. And Jamin Davis is just another first round piece added to him. Would not be surprised if he led our team in tackles. Now we get to a really funny fact. Remember that Trent Williams trade where we traded Trent Williams for a 5th round pick in 2020 and a 3rd round pick in 2021? Well, if you look at it this way, we technically traded Trent Williams for backup center Keith Ishmael, and developmental cornerback Benjamin St. Juste. So it's not looking too good, but Ron Rivera and company did everything they could to recoup some value from the way that Bruce Allen completely diminished Trent Williams' trade value with the situation with him sitting out, and teams already knew we were desperate to get rid of him. Bruce Allen had a golden opportunity to trade him for a first-round pick to, I believe it was Cleveland, I think, or maybe the 49ers. I believe it was one of those two teams, but either way, we could have traded him for a first-round pick. Bruce Allen messed up the entire situation. Ron Rivera did what he could, and now we just flipped Trent Williams basically in the backup center Keith Ishmael and developmental cornerback number 2 Benjamin St. Juste. Also, a fact that I really like, going back to Jamin Davis for a little while, Giants GM Dave Gettleman wanted Jamin Davis. He traded back in hopes of getting either Jamin Davis or Kadarius Toney, and I'm personally curious as to which one he preferred, because like if Kadarius Toney and Jamin Davis were available at their pick, would he have taken Jamin over Kadarius? Was Kadarius the second option? But that's really cool to hear that we took somebody that a division rival really wanted. And then lastly, now this is more so Georgia. This is more so me doing what I normally do. But Jamin Davis is a part of this. Georgia high schools produced the most first-round talent in the 2021 NFL draft. And Jamin Davis is a part of this. Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, J.C. Horn, Jamin Davis, Rashad Bateman, and Eric Stokes. And again, like I said earlier, Nick Saban knows his football. And he said years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, that Georgia high school football is the best high school football in the country. And you could kind of say that he saw into the future, because back then those guys were still in high school when he said that, and now they've become first-round picks. And again, Georgia high schools produced the most first-round talent drafted in the 2021 NFL draft. And at the same time, we're only 8th in population. So California, Texas, Florida, New York, Illinois, Pennsylvania, Ohio, I'm gonna need y'all to do better. But yeah, man, that's it for the 21 interesting facts. Please get in the comment section and let me know how many of these you knew. Again, I only knew max 8 before I started diving into this research. And the only reason I already knew 8 is because I was just looking into a lot of things, like the fact that Samuel Cosme was from Humble, Texas. I just like knowing where players are from. And like I already knew our RAS scores and things like that. I was looking into that as we were drafting players. Like after we took Jamin Davis, I looked up his. After we took Samuel Cosme, I looked up his. And I was just looking them up after every draft pick. So that's the only reason I knew as many facts as I knew. But still, definitely get in the comment section and let me know how well you tested with these random facts. And also, please like this video if you liked it, if you learned anything. I'm pretty sure all of y'all learned something. I doubt anybody came in here knowing all of this information. So you gotta leave a like. And also, please subscribe for more content like this. Hit the bell next to the subscription button so you get a notification every time I release a video, start up a live stream, schedule a live stream so you'll know ahead of time, all of that type of stuff. And as always, man, I always appreciate the support, man. Everybody that donates to the channel, big time. Special shouts out to all of my sponsors, especially the Pro Bowl sponsors whose name you see scrolling on the screen right now, man. I really appreciate all y'all. And a specific special shout out to my one All-Pro sponsor in Jaden. I really appreciate all y'all. I'll catch y'all later. I'm out.